split open the kegs of salted sprats, made nests inside men's. Hamlin Towns in Brunswick, by famous Hanover City. The river Weser, deep and wide, washes its wool on the southern side. A pleasanter spot you never spied, but when begins my ditty almost 500 years ago? To see the townsfolk suffer so from vermin was a pity. Rats. They fought the dogs and killed the cats, and bit the babies in the cradles, and ate the cheeses out of the vats, and licked the soup from the cook's own ladles. Split open the kegs of salted sprats, made nests inside men's Sunday hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning their squeaking and squeaking and shrieking in 50 different sharps and flats. At last the people in a body to the town's hall came flocking. "'Tis clear," they cried, "our mayors are noddy. And as for our corporation, shocking to think we buy gowns lined with ermine for dolts that can't or won't determine what's best to rid us of our vermin. You hope, because you're old and obese, to find in the furry civic robes ease? Rouse up, sirs, give your brains a racking, or sure as fate will send you packing." At this the mayor and corporation quaked with a mighty consternation. At length the mayor broke silence. "Gilda, I'd my ermine gown sell. I wish I were a mile hence. It's easy to bid one rack one's brains. I'm sure my poor head aches so. I've scratched it so. And all in vain. Oh, for a trap. A trap." And just as he said this, what should hap at the chamber door but a gentle tap? "Bless us," cried the mayor, "what's that?" With the corporation as he sat, looking little though wondrous fat, nor brighter was his eye nor moister than a too long opened oyster, save when at noon his paunch grew mutinous for a plate of turtle, green and glutinous. "Only a scraping of shoes on the mat. Anything like the sound of a rat makes my heart go tit-a-tat." "Come in," the mayor cried, looking bigger. And in did come the strangest figure. His queer long coat, from heel to head, was half of yellow and half of red, and he himself was tall and thin, with sharp blue eyes, each like a pin, and loose light hair, yet swarthy skin, no tuft on cheek nor beard on chin, but lips where smiles went out and in. There was no guessing his kith or kin, and nobody could enough admire this tall man and his quaint attire. Quoth one, "It's as my great-grandsire starting up at the trump of doomsday would walk this way from his painted tombstone." He advanced to the council table and, "Please, your honours," said he, "I'm able, by means of a secret charm, to draw all creatures living beneath the sun that creep or swim or fly or run after me as you never saw, And I chiefly use this charm on creatures that do people harm, the mole and toad and newt and viper. And people call me Pied Piper. And here they noticed around his neck a scarf of red and yellow stripe to match with his coat of the self-same check, and at the scarf's end hung a pipe. And his fingers they noticed were ever straying, as if impatient to be playing upon this pipe as low it dangled over his vesture so old-fangled. Yet, said he, poor piper that I am, in Tartary I freed the charm last June from his huge swarm of gnats. I eased in Aesir the Nizam and his monstrous brood of vampire bats. And as for what your brain bewilders, if I can rid your town of rats, will you give me 1,000 guilders? Well, 50,000 was the exclamation of the astonished mayor and corporation. Into the street the piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic slept in his quiet pipe the while. Then, like a musical adept to blow his pipe, his lips he wrinkled, and green and blue his sharp eyes twinkled, like a candle flame where salt is sprinkled. And ere 3 shrill notes the pipe uttered, you heard as if an army muttered, and the muttering grew to a grumbling, and the grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling, and out of the houses the rats came tumbling, great rats, small rats, lean rats, brawny rats, brown rats, black rats, grey rats, tawny rats, grave old plodders, gay young friskers, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocking tails and pricking whiskers. Families by tens and dozens, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, followed the piper for their lives from street to street. He piped advancing, and step for step they followed dancing, where until they came to the river Weser, wherein all plunged and perished. Save one, who stout as Julius Caesar swam across and lived to carry, as he the manuscript did cherish, to Ratland, home his commentary, which was, at first, the shrill notes of the pipe I heard a sound as of scraping tripe, in putting apples wondrous ripe into a cider press's gripe, and a moving away of pickled tab cabbages, and a leaving a jar of conserve cabbages, and a drawing the corks of train oil flasks, and a breaking of the hoops of the butter casks. And it seemed as if a voice sweeter far than by harp or by psaltery is breathed, called out, "O rats, rejoice! The world is grown to one vast dry saltery. So munch on, crunch on, take your luncheon, breakfast, supper, dinner, luncheon. And just as a bulky sugar puncheon, already staved, like a great sun shone glorious scarce, I found the razor rolling o'er me. You should have heard the Hamlin people ringing the bells till they rocked the steeple. Go, cried the man, get long poles. Poke out the nests and block up the hells. Consult with carpenters and builders and leave in our town not even a trace of the rats. When suddenly, up the face of the piper perked in the marketplace with a,
"First, if you please, my 1,000 guilders."
1,000 guilders. The mayor looked blue. So did the corporation too. For council dinners made rare havoc with claret, moiselle, vin de Grave, and hock. And half the money would replenish their cellar's biggest butt with Rhenish. To pay this sum to a wandering fellow, with a gypsy coat of red and yellow, beside, quoth the mayor with a knowing wink, our business was done at the river's brink. We saw with our own eyes the vermin sink. What's dead can't come to life, I think. So, friend, we're not the folks to shrink from the duty of giving you something to drink and a matter of money to put in your poke, but as for the guilders, what we spoke of them, as you very well know, was in joke. Besides, our losses have made us thrifty. 1,000 guilders. Come. Take 50. The piper's face fell, and he cried,
"No trifling. I can't wait. Besides, I've promised to visit by dinner time Baghdad, to accept the prime of the head cook's pottage. Oh, he's rich in, for having left in the caliph's kitchen of a nest of scorpions no survivor. With him I prove no bargain driver. With you, don't think I'll bait a stiver. And folks who put me in a passion may find me after piping in another fashion."
How, cried the mayor, do you think I'll brook being worse treated than a cook? Insulted